Fashion is a reflection of its time, a tapestry of innovation, culture, and self-expression. In today's digital age, artificial intelligence has woven itself into this tapestry, promising transformation while sparking a lot of debate about creativity, authorship, and artistry. In this week's video, I want to explore how generative AI has entered the world of fashion and what this means for the industry and its designers. As a fan and proponent of fashion, I think this is an important topic to discuss because it's only going to become more pervasive, and the more we know and understand, the more productive our discussions with one another about it will be. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Peter's Prism. Today, we're going to dive into the intersection of fashion and generative AI. We'll take a look at some important designers whose work I believe was a precursor to AI, and see how AI is being used today in the fashion economy. We'll also highlight some designers who have used AI in their creative processes, and then, finally, conclude by raising some issues that I hope will spark some discussion. If you have thoughts and feelings about AI and its role in how we dress, please share them in the comments below. This is definitely a topic that warrants discussion and debate. So, before we get into it, I think it's important to at least summarize the basics about AI. For those of you who might not know, generative AI is the type of artificial intelligence that creates new content. So think about images, text, music, video, 3D objects, by learning patterns from massive datasets. In a way, it's like the ultimate remix machine, taking information from all over the internet and processing it to create something new-ish. AI's role in the creative process can be thought of this way: to look at all relevant examples, copy and combine them, and transform them into new output, but all done at a scale and speed that no human could ever match. I want to start this discussion by highlighting a few designers whose work I believe predates AI being used as a creative tool. I think they're important because the approach they took actually mirrors what AI does. They just did it somewhat manually. First up, Hussein Chalayan. Chalayan is a pioneer in merging technology and fashion, incorporating elements like robotics and interactivity. For Spring/Summer 2007, he created a collection that featured technology-enabled garments that morphed, moved, and unfolded on their own, allowing them to rapidly transform from one silhouette to another, and pushing the boundaries of what a fashion show could be, demonstrating the potential of technology in clothing design. His use of technology, his interest in science, world politics, and the relationship between man and machine are examples of remixing in order to create something new, much like what AI does when we feed it prompts. Alexander McQueen was well known for embracing futurism and experimentation while referencing history. Probably his most well-known example of fashion design that predates AI was his spray paint dress from Spring/Summer 1999. For this finale, model Shalom Harlow walked onto a turntable wearing a white dress, while two gigantic and menacing robotic arms spray painted her in front of a live audience. The combination of robotics, couture, spray paint, and the unpredictability of the patterns and colors that emerged in the final look was exactly the kind of remixing that is happening with AI today. It was unprecedented at the time, and today still blows my mind. Iris Van Herpen is most famous for her 3D printed dresses. In haute couture, she's probably at the forefront of fusing technology with traditional couture craftsmanship. For example, she's explored the interaction between clothing and electricity in her Spring/Summer 2013 collection called Voltage, and used scanning electron microscope technology for Spring/Summer 2012's couture show called Micro, where she used photographs of tiny specimens as the blueprint for the emerging three-dimensional patterns of her dresses. Using computational modeling and 3D printing to create wearable garments results in clothing like nothing I've ever seen before, and that seems to me like what we're trying to do with AI today. There is no question that this level of originality in fashion design could be achieved without the aid of the unexpected combinations of inputs she's used. If you live in the world today and have an interest in fashion or style, you have been exposed to AI, whether you realize it or not. If you've shopped for clothing practically anywhere, scrolled through social media, or even played a video game, you've probably been exposed to it. Have you ever shopped at Zara? The global leader in fast fashion uses AI to predict fashion trends, manage inventory, and rapidly design and develop new products. By using AI to process social media trends, fashion blogs, and online sales data, the company is able to predict what styles and items will be popular in the very near future and react accordingly. Maybe you've seen these Prada ads. The company used AI to create marketing visuals by feeding professional product shots into AI image generators to produce new interpretations of their fragrance line, some of which include errors commonly made by AI. What's so interesting about this is the idea of representing fragrance, which can often be very intangible in ways the industry has never previously explored. If you're an ASOS shopper and marveled at how relevant their suggestions are, the reason is AI. And the company uses the same technology to streamline back-end operations as many of the other brands do. Like Zara, fast fashion giant H&M uses AI to predict trends, optimize its supply chain, know what is in stock, where it is, and what the optimal price is, as well as offering custom clothing in its creator studio. You may remember DressX, an online company that started in 2021 to sell digital clothes meant to substitute physical garments for social media content. Well, it is still very much in business and considered the leading platform for digital fashion. They've collaborated with brands like Meta, Roblox, Snapchat, and even designers. DressX even has a marketplace for digital fashion items that can be purchased as NFTs. AI plays a big role in the world of virtual influencers. Lil Miquela is a great example of how much power can be generated through AI. She's got 2.5 million followers, and although isn't physically real, has collaborated with powerful brands like Prada, Balenciaga, and Calvin Klein. Consider how easy it is for brands like this to dress and accessorize an AI character. And try to imagine how much greater their reach can be when you think about the fact that there are many, many more Lil Miquelas waiting to be born. So we know that AI is already pervasive in the fashion industry, and we see its extension through influencers, but how are designers actually using it today as a creative tool? A fairly recent scenario with Filipino-American accessories designer Chris Habana highlights many aspects of this new frontier in fashion, including creative execution, technology, and cultural and historical references. For her look at the CFDA Fashion Awards, Erykah Badu wore an oversized Tom Brown suit, but the real attention grabber is the bejeweled headpiece by Chris Habana. She first approached him with an AI-generated rendering of the piece, created by the digital artist Parallel. Habana understood that Parallel's original AI output referenced cultures that he didn't want to appropriate, so he instead abstracted them into modern shapes and textures that referenced cultural symbols. Chris has been quoted as saying, "Tech and global influences are constantly shifting what's possible. I'm excited about sustainable materials mixing with futuristic techniques like biofabricated materials and 3D printing, which allow us to create intricate designs with a lower environmental impact." Behnaz Farahi is an Iranian-born American interdisciplinary designer and educator whose work melds architecture, fashion, interaction design, computational design, wearable technology, and the human body. Her work often involves sensors and machine learning algorithms to respond to environmental stimuli or human interaction. A great example of this is called Caress of the Gaze, which is a 3D printed garment that tracks and reacts to the viewer's gaze and uses AI to interpret and adapt to human emotional expressions. AI Fashion Week in 2023 introduced a groundbreaking platform for designers to leverage AI in their creative process while maintaining the feasibility of producing their designs. Participants used AI to craft innovative collections, incorporating themes such as Ukrainian tradition, futuristic aesthetics, and nature-inspired designs. Designers translated their mood boards and visions into AI-generated outputs, refining silhouettes, proportions, and fabric patterns to align with their creative direction. This process allowed them to balance creative exploration with production realism. A key requirement was ensuring that the AI-generated designs were physically producible, which meant adhering to principles like realistic seam placements, functional cuts, and material compatibility. For example, some collections utilized what were called data fabrics, where AI-modeled textures and patterns could be rendered using existing textile technologies. This ensured the designs could transition from digital concepts to tangible garments. The event also emphasized accessibility and inclusivity, enabling emerging designers without extensive resources to participate and explore high-tech creativity in fashion. AI tools served as collaborators rather than replacements, extending creative possibilities while maintaining a human touch in the design process. If you're still with me, you might be asking yourself, why does this matter to me? Well, whether you're a designer, a creative professional, or even just someone who loves great design, understanding trends like this is essential, and here are just a few reasons why. Generative AI is democratizing creativity. The designers and brands we've talked about thus far are just the tip of the iceberg when we consider AI's involvement in this industry. With a much lower barrier to entry, we're going to see many more creators doing everything from designing fashion to even creating entire brands, all with just prompts. Maybe you've already integrated AI into your creative process or about to. The way that AI is speeding up fashion cycles through more reactive production could also mean that the disastrous environmental effects of fast fashion could become much worse. AI's prevalence sometimes causes me to wonder what is and isn't real. There are times when I'm looking at images and honestly wondering if it was or was not created by AI. This is significant to me because of the rate at which we're receiving information is sometimes overwhelming, and if our ability to distinguish fact from fiction gets harder and harder, there is no telling what will be possible in the hands of those who have power and money who are harnessing generative AI to sell more products. But I want to end on a positive note. Fashion, especially men's fashion, changes at a glacial rate, and fashion moves forward because of innovators who are doing new things and challenging the norm. Imagine a world where your clothing isn't just an expression of style, but a dynamic interface. Maybe garments change colors based on your mood, or generates visuals in augmented reality. Some of this is already happening, but I tend to think AI will only serve to accelerate experimentation, remixing, and coming up with new ideas that could never have been possible had it not been for this emerging technology. Well, that's it for today's thoughts about AI and fashion. What do you think about AI's involvement in fashion? Do you use AI today as part of your creative process? Drop a comment and let us know what you think. Thanks for joining me, and remember that great design is everywhere and has potential to improve our everyday lives, if we let it. Until next time, stay stylish. Bye!